Hey, how you? Good? Good. Listen. Most of y'all know that my active imagination goes crazy from time to time, right? I'm sitting here rereading the story of creation because that's what we've been talking about. And my mind gets to going and I'm like, God, if my active imagination or if my imagination goes this wild, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to fathom the imagination that you have to create all of this. And then all of a sudden I see that one angel being thrown out of heaven and cast down to the earth. Now, a lot of y'all think that one angel, that's Lucifer. Y'all think that he done already been to hell. He ain't. He got cast out of heaven and whoop. Jesus said, I see Lucifer, or I seen Satan coming out of heaven like a flash of lightning. Whoop. He wasn't going to hell. He was coming to roam this earth. And I think that's where darkness came from, right? Because one of the first things that God says, he's sitting there with Jesus and the Holy Spirit. They was all there at the very, very beginning. And he look at the Holy Spirit and he go, HS. I think that's what he called him. He say, HS, go down there and hover for a minute. We about to do some arts and crafts. Holy Spirit say, yes, sir. And he get down there and start to hovering. So when he start to hovering, God look and he like, it's pretty dark down there. I think we need to let there be light. And that was light. And listen, I think the light that he called out was inserting himself into the darkness. God is light. It was already dark. Dark, night, light, day, boom. That was the end of day one. God looked and said, yep, I did that. And then he was like, no, something ain't right. And in my mind, I feel like God was blowing because that's when day two was going and he had to create the space and stuff, you know, the sky and all that other stuff. So how else you gonna get all this space and you just don't blow? So in my mind, I think God was blowing and he was like, yeah, I done blew the sky into existence. That's day two. So then he was like, yeah, this look good, but it looked flat. It looked real flat. You know what? Let's do some 3D arts and crafts. And I believe that's when God created like all the trees and the bushes and all the grass and all the stuff, like all the nature stuff. And that's also when I believe he created the land. So that's what made it 3D, right? So then God looked and he was like, oh, that's good. We're going to call this day 3. Okay. And then he was looking some more and he was like, it's still kind of pale out. Still a little pale. I think we need a little bit more light. And he said, you know what? I'm going to make 2 great lights. He said, I'm going to make one for the day. And we're going to call that the sun. And then he said, I need one for the nighttime. Because it's got to be a little light in the darkness so that people know what to follow. Oh, gotta get me every time. So that people know what to follow. He said, I'm gonna call that light that shine at night, I'm gonna call that the moon. And then he did all that. He looked, he was like, yeah, I did that again. You know why? Because I'm gonna call that day 4. Now listen, you got all the water, you got all the land and all that other stuff. God say it looks good. It's a little plain though. So I'm gonna create some creatures that swim in the water. He called them fish. He called them water creatures. And then he said, I'm gonna create some stuff for the land. And he called them beasts. Okay, so you got your water creatures and you got your beasts of the land. And God looked and I'm sorry, not the beasts. He made the birds, the fish and the birds go together. So he made the swimmies, and then he made the flappies. Okay, fish and birds. He said, yeah, I worked down there and I worked up there. I did good. We gonna call that day 5. And he looked and he said, you know what? But I still don't think it's complete. You know what? Make some people like all us. That's what we gonna do. We gonna create some people in our image. And so what he did was before he did that, he made them beasts. He made them beasts of the land and all that other stuff. You know, like them giraffes and the hippopotamus and you got them big old woolly mammoths and all that. I believe he made all that. Even them dinosaurs that is extinct, I believe he was just creating, right? But then after he finished all the beasts, he was like, now I'm going to make somebody in my image. And so he got down there and he got to messing and playing in dirt, like little clay. And he pulled it up from the earth and got to forming and shaping and probably had a big old head. But anyway, he got done and when he got done, he looked at it, he say, and that person woke up and that person had the breath of life in them. And God said, yeah, this is what I need you to do, person. Go name all them fishy fish and all them flappy flappies and all them beasts that I made. You go name them. And he did it, but he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy. And God saw it. God, that's what I love about God. He recognized everything. God saw it. He said, you know what? It's not good that man be alone. So he say, listen here, little boy, go to sleep. That boy say. And when he did that, God opened up his chest. God became a surgeon. He became the world's first surgeon. He opened up that chest, pulled out that little rib bone, say, now I'm about to make you somebody. He say, okay, close you up, scoot you over, get me a little bit more, and let me begin to form. Put that little rib bone right in there. Let me close that up. Guess what? God ain't have to breathe in that because the bones already had the life. That'll preach right there too. The bones already had the life in it. And so now Adam got himself a little wife. And her name Eve. Y'all tell me that God ain't creative. Y'all tell me that in 6 days, baby, 24 hours, 6 days, God did all that and we struggle to clean the house. Are you kidding me? God is amazing. And this story of creation just proves it.